Hello, my crafty friends. Um, my daughter and I are doing a collaboration on a poem that she wrote, and the poem is called "Walked the World." And it's a wonderful poem. I'll read it to you in just a second. And I had some people when I talked about in one of my live streams, I talked about doing this collaboration with my daughter, and somebody in the comments said, "Oh, maybe we should do that in your Facebook group and all do it together, or whoever wants to." And I thought that's a great idea. And so I asked my daughter, and she thought that was a great idea. Um, so that'll be good. So I'm going to share every piece of the journey with you so that you can do that if you want to. And I thought I would start out um, showing you what I'm making my journal out of and what Hannah's making her journal out of. You do not have to do it this way. You can make it in any kind of journal you want. And you don't have to do it one line per page. That's what we're going to do. You could do one stanza per page if you wanted to and make a shorter poem. There are 10 stanzas, and so there are 40 lines. And so she and I are going to do a 40-page journal. Also, we're doing, we're using some fairly heavy substrates, and they're not all the same. We're going to make our covers out of these because this is stuff we had. It's fairly stiff. We thought it would make a good cover. So we'll have, two of those. And then I've got a bunch of these, and some of them are thicker than others. Like these are really pretty thick, and then the rest of these are pretty thin. But they're all just cardboard pieces out of the, stuff. Some of these, I think this bunch right here, I just got like this at the thrift store, but the others kind of came off the backs of other things. And then I have 4 that are like this, just little thin corrugated cardboard. So I've got, let's see, 4 of those. So hopefully there's 16 here. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So, okay. So I've got, 20 pages, and we'll do, each side will be 1 page of the journal and then the covers. And we're going to we want it to be kind of a square journal. She thought that was something that she would like. So we're going to make all the pages 8.5 by 8.5. And we can do that pretty easy with what we've got here. I'm going to make the journal cover 8.5. No, I'm going to make it 9 by 9, I think, because I want it to be a little bit around I want about around 3 edges. About 1/2 inch on each edge. And if this is 8.5, okay, so we may make it, I didn't think my way through that very good. Let's do a page first, cut it 8.5 by 8.5, and then we'll see. We'll play with the cover after that, because we're going to bind it in a style that's called, let me find it for you here. It's called slip knot binding. My daughter calls it crochet binding because she thinks it looks like a crochet stitch. So, and it's not a difficult binding to do, but I showed her this that I'm going to do. Tanya and I are going to do a project with this kind of binding, and I showed it to her. She goes, "Oh, that's what I want to do, my journal." So that's what we're going to do this journal too. And we'll show you how to do that when it's time. But the thing is that you don't want to bind it till you're finished. So we're not making a book and then putting the work in it. We're making the pages and then binding them into a book. So that's another reason that I'm showing you this, because I don't want you to see us doing it on cardboard and thinking, oh, I can't do it in a book. You can sure do it in a book. We're just, we had these things we wanted to use, and she thought it would be fun to use unusual substrates, so that's what we're going to do. Okay, so 8.5. close to went all the way through. And it is already 8.5 that way. So this is the size that the journal's going to be. So let's set these over here for a minute. And let's figure out. Let's cut this one at 9 inches just to start with, because it'll be easy to work from that. Woo! My thing's a little bit dull. I'm definitely going to have to change it once I cut all these. May have to change it before I cut them. Okay. This is 9, and how long is it? It's 10 inches long. So I'm going to go ahead and cut... all right, let's just look at it on here. I'm going to bind it like this. Actually, I think I kind of like that. It leaves it pretty much the same all the way around. It's extra big, but that's okay. I think that's what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to cut. Wow, that was easy for the cover. Just cut it at 9 inches. Oops. Okay. So we've got our 2 cover pieces, and they're not exactly the same. Uh-oh. So this one, I think, is actually more accurate. That other one was curved. I mean, see? Not good. Luckily for me, I have one more of these. So I'll just save this and use it for tags or something. Actually, I want to cut these. Nope, I'll cut them with something else because I want to go all the way to here, because I can use these for tags too later. So I'll save those and cut them later. Let me find another one of these. Okay, I found another one, and I hope that that's not going to be in my way. Okay, definitely. Well, that's not perfect either, but it'll just have to do. It'll just have to do. Okay. See, it's still off just a tad. So I think I'll find a way to try to trim this one down just a little bit. I don't know if this will do it or not, but let's. Okay, let's see if that did it. It's going to have to be good even if it's not perfect. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay. And I'm going to see if I can figure out how to change out this blade. Well, I'm going to try to cut the other ones and see if we can do it. If we can't, then I'll stop and figure out how to change out the blade. If you got extra pieces like this, save them. You can use them for tags. Okay, this one is 8.5, so we'll go this way to 8.5. Most of these are thin enough it's not an issue. This is a lot softer than that blue stuff. That was really hard. if you want to do this and you're not in my Facebook group or Tanya McGuire's Facebook group or Aunt Becky's Facebook, Aunt Beck's Creations Facebook group, then you can, I'll try to figure out a hashtag for it so you can post on Instagram or something if you want to, and you want to go along with us. I'd love to see what you do. So I'll do that. I'll figure that out by the next one. When I decorate the cover, I'll have a hashtag figured out for you. I haven't ever registered a hashtag before, so I'll have to get some help figuring out how to do that. Some of these, like I said, are thicker than other ones, and I'll probably I'm not sure what I'm going to do as far as how I'm going to work on them. So some of them may be gessoed. I know my daughter is going to do some pen and ink and some painting and a little bit of collage and maybe some drawing, maybe some watercolor. She does all of those things. And so she may have all of those things in her journal. I don't do any of those things except the collage as good as she does. So mine may be mostly collage, but you can do anything that you like to do. Mixed media, I'll probably have mixed media pages in there too. But when I think of collage, I think of mixed media. So it is a mixed media as far as I'm concerned. But anyway, you can do whatever you want to do if you want to play along. I would love to know if you want to play along. It would be fun. And my daughter said each time she gets a page finished, I can show y'all her pages as we go as well, and her cover. She doesn't want to do it on video, but she'll let me show you when I do my next video. You know, each time as she finishes one, the next video I do, I'll show you what she's got done so far. She's planning to work on her cover this weekend. And I have a couple of people sending me some text in foreign languages, which is what I want to cover my cover with. And so I'm going to wait a little more before I start my cover. I got some Japanese today from Beth Schuler. Thank you, Beth. And I'm going to use that. And then I've got some Vietnamese newspaper. And I've got a German book and a Spanish book and a Spanish music paper, a hymnal. And then, of course, I'll put some English in there because we speak English, and a lot of the world speaks English. But I would like to have a representation of a lot of different languages. I don't want it to be, you know, mostly English, or even just English and Spanish, which is easy to find around here. But so I'm hoping to get more languages in on my cover. I haven't decided what I'm going to put on top of all those different languages, but you know, some kind of focal point. I haven't figured that out yet, but leave the nicest edge uncut. Got lots of extra pieces. To make tags out of. I didn't do that one exact. At least it'll be clean if it's not perfect. Okay. It just almost goes all the way through that, but not quite. This is pretty fast. If you know what you're going to use, it goes pretty quick. Just cutting them into 8.5-inch squares. But like I said, y'all don't have to do 8.5-inch squares. And I can't remember if I mentioned this before or not, but my daughter said she would be okay if you didn't even do whole, one line per page, if you wanted to do a whole stanza per page and have less pages. That's fine, which is one reason that I'm posting. Oh, I didn't do a good job with this one. That's weird. Okay, let's 8.5. I think it's crooked here. Let's go ahead and do 8.5 here and see if that'll help. Huh. It's still not working. This is really odd. Okay, I may have to find another page instead of this one. That's really strange. Okay, let me find another one. Actually, I think I'll just use this. So let's do it 8.5. And then let's do, okay, I'm going to do 9, and then I'll take off 1/2 inch from the other side because I want it to be, all the edges of my other pages are squared off, so I want this one to be squared off too. Okay, so now I've got one of those inside. Let's stick this blue one in the middle somewhere. Put 2 of those on each side. So I've got these 20 pages here, and then my covers. I'm beginning to think now that might be a little bit too much on each side. You kind of got to do stuff and then look at it and decide what you want to do. Okay, let's look at this again. Okay, I think I'm going to take off 1/4 inch on this side. Oh, that went crooked again. I'm quite certain it's user error, but okay. Now let's put this in here and look at it. Yeah, see, that just leaves a nice amount. And I think I'm going to take about almost a half an inch. Okay, that's weird. That's a little bit off right there. Okay. I think I'm just going to end up messing this up if I don't be careful. Okay. We want this to be 8 3/4 inches. All right, this is 8 1/2. Oh, I decided not to cut it. That's why it's more than, okay. I'm sorry, my brain is, so if I take it to, let's just take off the right amount instead of, boy, that's very crooked there. Okay, we're going to take off this much. Okay. And now we're going to take off. All right, let's go ahead and take off about that much this time. Luckily, I'm going to cover this cover up, and it won't, my mess ups won't be quite so obvious. Oh, wrong way. I'm going, that's not working. There we go. So my cover is going to be about this size. So I'm going to now use this one to measure the other one. I'm going to take off a half an inch here. And then take that off. Now let's put this on top of it to see how much to take off on this side. Oh, definitely going to need to change my blade. Okay. Now the cover is just a little bit bigger than the pages. And I think I'm going to round off these two corners. But I may wait and do that after I've got my paper on there. I'm not sure. Nothing else is rounded off. I either need to round them all or none of them. So I'm not going to do anything right now. Okay. Let me know below if you want to join us in doing this. Oh, I was going to read the poem to you and I didn't do that. Hold on a minute. Let me read the poem. Okay, here's the poem. Walked the world. I walked the world and wrote a story on the bottoms of my shoes. Someday I'll find my way back and tell it all to you. I saw fields of glistening green and oceans painted blue. Slept under 1,000 skies, saw 1,000 sunsets too. I saw canyons carven deep and mountains reaching high. Looked on lands lost in sleep beneath the smiling starry sky. I saw cities great, towns small, and all the empty places too. I saw the world lost to madness and the sunrise come anew. I met people of different kinds and different paths, set them down for a cup of coffee, and I tell you, all folks can laugh. I heard 1,000 songs and stories sung from 1,000 different hearts, and thought this world is an orchestra with 1,000 different parts. I saw great men and scoundrels small, and children I knew one day would stand above them all. And remember what that man said about the annals of the poor? They don't seem so simple to me now, not any more. I saw forests deep as human souls and plains as broad as possibility. I dreamed dreams of better worlds and wondered if we had that ability. I walked the world and wrote a story on the bottoms of my shoes. Someday I'll find my way back and tell it all to you. That's the poem that we're going to be doing this book around. So hopefully you'll be inspired by that, and you'll enjoy at least watching us do this if you don't want to join us. But we would love to have you join us if you want to. If you do want to join us, I don't think I said this before, be sure to subscribe to my channel so you won't miss any of the videos that come out on it. And that way you'll get notifications if you ring the bell. You know, you got to ring the bell. All right. God bless you. Bye-bye.